Hello, my furniture refinishing friends. This is Shannon with Black Sheep House. If you're a current subscriber, you already are familiar with this Pottery Barn finish, but if not, I am very excited to introduce you to a very cool finish that I created, and I actually went to the Pottery Barn store to try and replicate their finish and succeeded, and I've been using it ever since. It's such a great way to update furniture, especially if that furniture isn't solid wood. It is a wonderful, easy process to use, and it's very forgiving. It works great for beginners. So stick with me here. I'm going to show you how to update this table. We're starting by cleaning it. I love using the OxyClean by Palmolive to just degrease and everything. And then I always do a scuff sand with 220 grit sandpaper. A scuff sand just means that you lightly go over the surface. It shouldn't take longer than 5 or 10 minutes to scuff sand an entire piece. For this tabletop, it maybe took me 5 minutes, if that. Scuff sanding just gives your paint something a little bit more to stick to, and it's just a great way to remove any like bumps or anything like that that might be on the surface. Unless your piece has some major damage, I wouldn't worry about repairing or anything for this particular finish since it's so forgiving. I vacuum all the dust up, and then I have a little trick here. You can get your primer tinted with the color that I'm using, which is called Rugged Tan by Behr. Or if they won't tint your primer for you, sometimes they'll do it at Home Depot and sometimes they won't for me. It just depends on the person who's working. You can just mix half and half with half primer. I use the Zinnser water-based primer for this project, and half paint. And that gives it a little bit more of like a creamier, lighter color. And actually, I really like that color as well. But it's not a perfect match to the Pottery Barn stuff. So if you really want to go for a perfect match, then you'll want to do primer and then paint, solid paint on there. And the paint that I use is by Behr. It's the Behr Premium Plus Ultra. And don't worry, it's an acrylic-based paint. Of course, it would peel off if you don't prime your surface first or mix it with primer like I did here. But you know, it works just fine for projects like this. My favorite paint of all time is actually General Finishes Milk Paint. And so if you're looking for just a good solid brand to go with at all times for painting furniture where you don't need to use a primer, you can go with General Finishes. Depending on the project, I use different paints. And so in this project, the Rugged Tan color is the perfect match for that Pottery Barn finish. And so that's what I used. And then mixing it with primer, like I said, made it a little bit lighter. But overall, still really that same vibe. I'm going to do 2 coats of this, the half primer and half paint mixture. 1 coat, let it dry, another coat, and then let that dry before I apply Rustoleum Antiquing Glaze. And I do 2 coats of this primer paint mixture. I let it dry, and then I apply the second coat. Usually it's like I let it dry for maybe 30 minutes in between the 2 coats. But then after I get the 2 coats on, I do let it dry for like 24 hours or overnight before I go in with the antiquing glaze. And to apply just these paint coats, I'm just using a 2-inch angled brush. I like Zibra. I like Purdy brushes. And yeah, pretty straightforward. Oh, I do apply it in the direction of sort of like the direction that I'm going to do my glaze brushing. And so in this case, this table has a seam right in the middle where a leaf goes, and I did refinish the leaf as well, but I didn't video that. And so I'm actually going horizontal with the parallel with that seam in the middle, and so it'll blend in a little bit more seamlessly when I do the antiquing glaze finish on top. Always using a paper towel to dust things off because my garage, I don't know about you guys, but garages just get so dusty. I also frequently use a tack cloth in between layers as well. Now, you can see I had the gel stain sat out there. I was thinking about using that for this project since it's a table and I really wanted it to be durable. But then I thought, I'm going to go ahead and use the water-based one and put it to the test because I'm actually keeping this table. So I'll be able to let you guys know how durable this finish actually is. Now I am going to use an oil-based top coat to seal it all in because it is a table and it will be getting used heavily. But all right, so you're going to need a brush like this one to apply the glaze, and then you're going to need a deck staining brush. Mine is a 5-inch deck staining brush from Home Depot. And then you're going to need a handheld Wisk broom. I think it says it's like 6 inches, and I also got that from Home Depot. It's like $5. You guys have asked me a lot if I reuse my broom, and I do. Even if I do the oil-based version, I reuse it. I just let it dry and then reuse it. I'm actually due to get another one. Mine's pretty dirty at this point. But so yeah, you just want to get the glaze on there with your regular brush, and then you're going to go through with your deck staining brush. And if you feel like you start to build up too much product on your deck staining brush, just wipe it with a towel or a shop cloth, And then you're going to go over with the Wisk broom. And again, you're going in the direction parallel with the seam of the table or the direction that you sort of imagine your wood going. And you can't brush it too many times. Honestly, I just brush. And I used to use, and I have on an occasion used a little dog grooming brush in addition to the Wisk broom. But I didn't use it on this project. I had too much going on trying to film and everything. I do like the finish slightly better with the dog grooming brush in addition to the Wisk broom. And you can see that in my other video. But I just had too much going on, and the Wisk broom is all that made it. And the main thing that the dog grooming tool does essentially is removes excess product from your after you've applied it on there. And that is the main thing that I see people making a mistake with, is they get too much product on there. So as long as you're being careful not to apply too much product and keeping your deck staining brush, wiping that off in between sections with a, lint-free cloth, wiping off your Wisk broom there, that's really going to help keep your finish nice and light and not too heavy. And it'll take forever to dry if you get the product on there too thick. Another thing that I've had people reach out and ask me is if you could, start over. What should you do if you feel like you don't like the way it's turning out? If you feel like there's a particular section that, you don't like the way it's looking, you could probably just apply the glaze over that section again. And again, it'll be kind of like heavy with the glaze, and you can do a lot more wiping to get it back to the lightness you want. But that's what I typically do if I catch it early on. Now, if you are coming back, a little while later, maybe it's after it's had some time to dry and you're kind of going, oh, I don't really like the way that looks, you could take some mineral spirits and probably even water, soap and water, since this is a soap and water finish and it won't have fully cured by then, and clean it up. So I would probably go in with mineral spirits just because I'm pro level like that, and I like to go in and just erase what I've done wrong. Which, hey, we professionals do make mistakes and things come up and bugs end up in our finishes sometimes. Most times I will catch it early on while it's still wet, and I can go in and correct it. And you're going to see, I'm going to show you guys a close-up of me correcting a couple of spots on this particular table. But yeah, you just want to get the glaze on there with your 2.5-inch angled brush or whatever angled brush you want to use. You could even use a chip brush for this. I've used a chip brush many times. You're working in strips that are, like between 4 and 7 inches, I'd say, right? Something like that. Then you go in with the deck staining brush, smooth it all out. You're going all the way from one end to the other, whether it's a tabletop, a dresser top, a dresser front drawer, one end of the surface to the other till there's like a breaking point. And then you go in with the Wisk broom and you give it the nice little lines. And then you'll repeat the process for the next section. So you're getting it on there with your 2.5 inch brush. Remember, you're not applying it too thick. Then you'll go in with your deck staining brush to smooth it all out. Nice long strips. Try to go as straight as you can, but it's tricky with a table. Such a big surface to work with. Just applying it on the edges with the deck staining brush, making sure the edges are covered. And then I smoothed it out one more time. It looks like I edited that out of the video, but then I'm going in with the Wisk broom. And you can see I've used this broom many times. It's dirty, dirty, dirty. It's stained, I should say. It's not dirty. I've actually cleaned the surface off. And you can also use like a lint remover, sticky tape, you know, like your paint sticky tape to kind of clean lint and debris off of your broom and keep it stored in like a, you know, Kroger bag or something so that it doesn't get dusty out in the garage. And you're just trying to keep those lines nice and straight. And you really can't go over it too many times. Honestly, I go over it so many times to get that like desired lightness. Then I'm going around the edges with the deck staining brush, and that'll be it. I don't go around the edges with the Wisk broom. I'm going over the top with the deck staining brush. I'm kind of like smoothing it out a little bit. This is completely optional. It's just something that I do sometimes if I feel like the finish looks a little too, I don't know, like too drastic, I guess. That's a good way to say it. I don't always do that. In fact, I don't think I did it on the other side. All right, so here's the mistake I was going to show you. So I got like a glob of the antiquing glaze, and so I just went in with a zip tie, or you could use a toothpick, or you could use a fork or something, you know, just something with a point on it. And then just go through, you can even use your nail if it's long enough. My nails are kind of short, so it's kind of hard for me to do that. And then this spot was a little heavy. The Wisk broom didn't really take it away, that spot, and I didn't want to go over the whole area with the Wisk broom again because it was already drying. And that is a mistake you can make too, is going over it with the Wisk broom when your product is already drying. It's going to glob up. So make sure the only time you're going over it with the Wisk broom or anything like that is when it's still wet. So the next thing that I'm doing is completely optional. I'm going to be dry brushing some yellow, like a really pale yellow on the top. I feel like this just adds another dimension, but again, it's completely optional and hardly noticeable if you don't do it. I've not done it on several projects and I still thought they looked great. So this is completely optional, but I do like the way it looks. And like I said, I'm keeping this table, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that extra little bit. If you don't know what dry brushing is, you basically just dab your chip brush. A chip brush is a natural fiber brush that's kind of got a jagged edge, and so that really gives it a really natural application. And you dab it into a little bit of paint, and then you dry it off with like a lint-free cloth or a paper towel in my case. And then you will, kind of dry brush, paint the brush on kind of the areas that you want to accent or emphasize. I'm going to be sealing this table with Armor Seal by General Finishes. 9 times out of 10, I do a water-based finish by Varathane. That's the one that's from Home Depot, and I love it. I think it's a great poly, and it is very durable, but this one I heard was like really durable, so I wanted to try it out. I'm a big fan of General Finishes, and they upsold me at the woodworking store. So I walked out of there with like 3 extra products, and why not? Anyway, I'll let you guys know how this table holds up. I'm sure it'll be great. It's a oil-based polyurethane, which is known to be like the most heavy duty top coat that you can use on interior surfaces. I use the wipe-on polyurethane version kind of the general finishes, and it is very, very durable, very scratch resistant. So there's the before, and here it is after. So happy with how this turned out. I just used Rustoleum spray paint on the chairs and to touch up the base, and then I'll clear coat those at some point. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.